Have you ever wondered what really happens when silence lasts too long? What if the truth you avoided for years suddenly finds its voice? And what if one sentence is enough to change how we see an entire story? Welcome back to Magazine News and Gossip. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect moment. Because today's story is not just gossip. It is a turning point, a confession, and possibly the most unexpected emotional revelation Yaman has ever allowed to surface. For months, Yaman remained silent. No interviews, no explanations, no reactions. While rumors, accusations, and theories exploded across tabloids and social media, he chose distance. He chose quiet. And many believed that silence was weakness. They were wrong. According to sources close to the actor, Yaman was not escaping the truth. He was preparing for it, waiting, watching, processing. And when he finally spoke, his words hit harder than any denial ever could. This time, Yaman's statements focused on two names that instantly shook the celebrity gossip world: Demet, Oshamir, and Sara. What he revealed was not shouted. It was not dramatic in tone, but its impact was devastatingly powerful. The sentence was short, almost calm, but the meaning behind it sent shockwaves through the industry. Thanks to Demet, I saw the real face of Sara. Those words were immediately interpreted not only as a confession, but as a final reckoning with the past. For a long time, Yaman avoided discussing his private life. When headlines appeared about him, he usually responded with silence or carefully chosen diplomatic phrases. But according to this narrative, that silence was intentional. It was a pause before clarity. Friends of the actor claim that during this period, Yaman withdrew from his usual social circle. He became more introspective, more distant, and far more selective about who he trusted. He wanted to understand himself before explaining anything to the public. And perhaps the most surprising part of his statements was not what he said about others, but what he admitted about himself. According to the account, Yaman openly criticized his own past decisions. He acknowledged ignoring signs, ignoring warnings, ignoring truths he did not want to face. Sometimes people refuse to see what they don't want to see. I was one of them. These words were seen as a key to understanding his relationship with Sara. Not an accusation, not an attack, but a painful realization. However, the most striking part of Yaman's confession centered around Demet Oshamir. According to the narrative, Yaman stated that Demet never gave him advice. She never judged anyone. She never pointed fingers. And yet, her presence alone forced him to confront realities he had avoided. Demet never told me anything. She never criticized anyone. But sometimes, her silence said more than words ever could. In media circles, this statement was described as the hardest confession of all. Yaman's comments about Sara, on the other hand, were indirect but undeniably sharp. According to the constructed report, he admitted feeling deeply disappointed after certain events and behaviors. Seeing someone's true face can be painful, but sometimes that pain is what finally sets you free. With that sentence, it became clear that Yaman had realized the relationship was built on a foundation very different from what he once believed. Tabloid insiders claim that the moment of realization was critical. According to those close to him, a conversation with Demet Oshamir played a significant role in this emotional shift. The content of that conversation was never revealed, but one phrase echoed repeatedly in gossip columns. Demet held up a mirror for John. Another remarkable aspect of Yaman's statements was his deliberate avoidance of blame. According to the narrative, he emphasized that it would be easy to place responsibility on one person. "I don't blame anyone, but I don't deny the facts either." This approach was interpreted as a sign of emotional maturity and control. Not an attempt to rewrite history, but an acceptance of it. Yaman's words about Demet Oshamir quickly spread across the celebrity gossip world. According to reports, he described her place in his life with a sentence that resonated deeply. "One of the few people who stood by me during difficult times." That single line strengthened long-standing claims that their connection was far deeper than the public had previously assumed. Following these revelations, social media was divided. Some praised Yaman for his honesty. Others argued that the confession came too late. But one thing was undeniable. These statements dominated headlines. Gossip columns were filled with analysis. One commentator wrote, "This is not a love declaration. This is a coming-of-age story." Another described Yaman's words as a delayed but powerful confrontation with reality. In this narrative, Sara made no public statement. That silence was interpreted by some as a strategic choice, and by others as unexpected. But silence, once again, became part of the story. Those close to Yaman claim that after this emotional process, his view of life and relationships has changed significantly. He is said to be more cautious, more selective, and more inward-looking. "I have learned not to feel alone in a crowd." This sentence has since become one of the most frequently quoted phrases attributed to Yaman. As for Demet Oshamir, no direct comment was made. However, according to those close to her, she simply said, "Everyone must follow their own path." This response was interpreted as quiet, firm, and consistent with her long-standing approach. And so, this chapter closes not with shouting, but with understanding. Not with blame, but with awareness. Not with drama, but with growth. This is not just another celebrity rumor. It is a story of realization, silence, and emotional evolution. If you want more exclusive stories like this, you already know what to do. Subscribe to magazine news and gossip, like the video, and stay with us for the stories everyone else will talk about tomorrow. We love you all. See you in the next video.